So I'm at my show home, getting ready to start my work day today on Tuesday. Back from my day off on Monday, and walking around, turning on lights, and thinking, as I often do, um, and thinking about having a feeling that I've had for about a week now, and it's sort of risen and dropped and intensified and then backed off, but it's this feeling of gratitude, and I wanted to share sort of what's come up for me. And this is so the other morning I woke up as I do in the mornings, not because I usually want to, but because there's an alarm going off next to my head. And this particular morning, I had two small dogs, my dogs, jumping all over me and pawing at me and whining and whimpering, and they were excited. And for those of you who know me well, you know that I'm probably not what you would describe as a morning person. I don't wake up to the sound of birds chirping and flutes playing. I'm usually there's usually a pretty dark cloud over me until I get up and wash up and have a cup of coffee or six. But this particular morning something struck me, and so I got these two little dogs and they're jumping at me, and I rolled over and I had a smile on my face, and I remember the feeling was just this sense of, wow, I have these two beings that love me and are so excited to see me, and to get me up and play with them. And I mean that's pretty simple to accomplish with dogs, but it was enough to get me seeing things from that perspective. And for the rest of that day, and as I said, throughout the next week, that feeling has lingered, and that day it evolved very quickly into I started thinking about my kids, and 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 that unconditional love that's there, and that feeling that I have about both my children right now, that you know regardless of anything else in my life that's happened or is going to happen, I know the world is a better place with them in it. And I take a sense of accomplishment from that, but I take a stronger sense of gratitude that I've been blessed with that experience. And then as I was preparing for my day, I thought about my wife, who I love and who's amazing and who's inspirational and who's incredibly supportive, who's ridiculously talented and gifted. And I started thinking about our family, her family, my family. I started thinking about, as I was driving to work, I started thinking about the people that I've met throughout my life, my friends and my colleagues throughout my life, the mentors that I've had, the people who have taught me or at least tried to teach me as much as they could about my business, about life, about interacting with people, love. And then when I got to my show home, I was thinking about my employer and how grateful I am, through the connections that I had and the people that I had met and the friendships I had developed to whatever degree. I managed to connect up with this group of people that seems to align so incredibly well with my own philosophies and values. And then I thought about my previous employer and employers, and the opportunities and the growth and the development and the challenges and everything else that I had from that. And I started thinking about my show home that I'm in, this beautiful show home, and all of the people and the hands that went into building this show home, before I ever existed to any of them. So not to say they were doing it for me, but they were in a sense. And then not just the people whose hands were on the show home, the people who delivered the supplies and the material, the people who manufactured those supplies and those materials, the people who mined, and developed and sought out and collected the resources to create these things. And it just became almost overwhelming, this sense of gratitude in how many people have gone into me being where I am today. How many people's efforts, their energies, their talents, their wisdom, their strength, their fears, their vulnerabilities, their sadnesses, their sorrows. How many of them, man, I really can't fathom. Hundreds, thousands. I think about the car that I drove to get here. The people that again went into manufacturing and building and delivering and selling and reselling again potentially. All of those people involved in that, and the maintenance of the getting the gasoline into the gas tank. All of these people, and it just gave me this sense of gratitude, thankfulness, humility. I'm such a small part of what goes into, the people that I'm trying to help, who are seeking new homes, and for them and their families. And the realization that this our society seems to really have a strong messaging of independence, and you have to be independent and go get her, do it, and get things done yourself, and make it happen, do it, which has its value. But let's not lose sight of how many others need to be involved in that. And that's an incredibly humbling thought and feeling. There's no way I could do all of this myself. There's no way I accomplish any of this without the help and the cooperation and the collaboration of countless others. So if you're one of those countless others, thank you so much for being there for me, directly, indirectly, through however many degrees of separation. Thank you. That's my feeling today. Gratitude and thank you. I'm so grateful. And I hope you're grateful too. And take that into your day and apply it. Let the people in your life know. Thank you for listening.